Good morning, everyone. I am here in Yokohama, Japan. Okay, this is the first fishing show of 2025, and you have around 220 exhibitors in this exhibition alone. So this is a 3-day exhibition, and for those of you who cannot make it to Yokohama show, right, we will have a closer look at Shimano's booth. So if you can't come, no worries, we have got you covered. Let's check out the booth map. All right, here you will see Shimano's booth map here. It's a lot to digest. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the InfinityConnect corner. Okay, this concept, InfinityConnect, is what we are going to push this year. Shimano is going to push. And after that, we're going to have a look at the reels. Spinning reels are here, and bait reels are here. And these are the electric reels. Next, we're going to have a look at the rods as well. Salt rods here, freshwater rods here, and boat rods here. Boat rods are Shimano's term for electric rods, all right? Then we also have a little bit lure action here, and we have a closer look at some lines here, all right? So let's go, everyone.
It's the pursuit of the essence of fishing.
So if you can see here, there's an InfinityConnect system. So I talked about it earlier, right? InfinityConnect system is a new concept that Shimano is trying to introduce to anglers all around. So you have a reel, you have the rod, you have the gear, all right? So in this system, this year particular, we're going to push more on Stella SW, okay? This one will be the Ocea Plugger Limited, and this will be the Ocea 17. Yes, you heard me right, the Ocea 17 Plus. It has 16 braids, okay, with a core in the middle, so it's 17 actually. There are 17 braids in the line. Very, very exciting. So let's take a closer look at these items. So here, as you can see, this is the whole InfinityConnect system. All right? You have the Stella SW, the Ocea Plugger Limited here, okay, also in 2025, and you also have the line. We're going to check out the line later. Let's have a little introduction on the rod. Ocea Plugger Limited, all right, as you can see here, it has our X guide. Okay. Can you see the X guide here? So it doesn't only have one, but it has 3. So the first 3 guides you get, the stripper guide and the following 2, are X guides, Shimano's original design. In this design, you can see that the ring is actually smaller, okay? And the center of the ring is further from the blanks of the rod. This is very important because in usual guides, right, you will get a bigger ring, but with the same length, right? Meaning the center of the ring here is actually closer to the blanks. What happens is that when you have a closer center to the blank, there is a higher chance of the line hitting the blank and also hitting the foot of the guide, all right? So this S guide is very, very unique in its design. The footing is on the other side, all right? The rings are smaller, not bigger, and the center of the ring is actually further from the blanks. This is all to protect your line, okay? And other than protecting your line, right, because it doesn't hit the blanks or hit the footing of the guide that much, there's also lesser abrasion. So what happens with lesser abrasion? It protects your guide, it protects your line, and it gives you more casting distance, right? Because you don't have that much friction. No friction from touching the blanks, no friction from touching the foot of the guide. Very, very important for casting distances. All right, so we'll talk about the Stella SW later, okay? So I've already told you about the Ocea 17, right? 17 braids, very, very strong line. How strong? Let's have a look. So in this corner, you can see there's a comparison between the Ocea 8 and the latest Ocea 17 Plus. For those of you who have already used Ocea 8 lines, you already know how well built they are and how strong they are, right? Very reliable, very premium line. So we have actually asked one of our Japanese instructors, Suzuki-san, to help us do some casting, all right? So after 200 casts on the Ocea 8 and the Ocea 17 Plus, look at them under the microscope here. You can see here, the Ocea 8, there's a little bit of damage to the line, right? But it is not anything integral, okay? So there's only some fuzziness. But look at the Ocea 17 Plus. Looks as good as new. Right. So this is the power of Ocea 17 Plus compared to the Ocea 8. We're not taking anything away from the Ocea 8. We're just trying to introduce something new to the market, which is the Ocea 17 Plus. Okay, so we've talked about the rod, we talked about the line, right? So why InfinityConnect? What is InfinityConnect? InfinityConnect is actually a system where Shimano believes that the rod, reel and line has to be these three so that we can achieve the three things that we want anglers to experience, all right? So let's take a look at the three things that we want anglers to experience, all right? So you have the infinity loop on the Stella SW. This will give you more casting distance based on the oscillation rate. I know it's very, very technical, but we'll have a closer look at it later, okay? So as you can see here on the graph, because of Stella SW's infinity loop, you get a smoother line outlay. The red one is the current Stella SW, which is 21, the 2020 and 2019. But on the 2025 Stella SW, is the blue one. You get a much closer, you get a much tighter oscillation here. So there's less vibration, right, for better line outlay. The next thing is casting distance. Okay? So, casting distance, you get a 5% increase in casting distance, but you get a 10% increase in the casting area. Okay? So it's not just because it's 5% that you think like maybe it's not that much. It doesn't mean that much, but then when you're casting, right, you want to find all those frenzies on the water, on the top of the water, right? So if you see one on your left, boom, you can just like 5% more. See one on your right, boom, you just cast out straight without being very, very unassured that it will not reach the casting point, okay? So that's the second thing about the InfinityConnect system. The third thing is what we saw earlier, is the line. So when you have more reliable lines, you don't get that much break, okay? With more line breakage, what does that mean? It means you need to change out your lines more, okay? And that is a very, very big hassle for people who know. So InfinityConnect is a system that brings you these three things, okay? Casting feel, casting distances, and the line strength, okay? Line strength. Okay, so that's all about the InfinityConnect system. Let's go and have a closer look at Stella SW. Let's go. Oh, it's kind of crowded. It's only 9+ a.m. guys. Can we get in? Not too sure. All right, let me cop a reel. All right guys, so here you can see that this is a Stella SW 2025 10,000, all right? It's a 10,000 size. Right, first thing you notice is this incredible knob, right? Very, very attractive knob. Okay, so Stella SW, as you can see here, do you see how slowly it turns? It goes up and down, sorry, not how it turns. Do you see how slowly it goes up and down? This is what we mentioned earlier, the infinity loop, okay? So in previous models, this up and down, right, it is much faster. So what happens is, right, when your spool is at the top or at the bottom of the position, right, this is where your line is. So when that happens, right, you get this kind of angle of the line. This is when the line tension is highest, all right? And when is it the lowest? It is when the line is horizontal. That is when the line tension is the least, okay? So what happens, like, remember the graph we showed you earlier, the red and blue one, right? So the red one had higher peaks, right? The blue one had lower peaks. So that is the tension actually. So what happens is, when you have this kind of slow up and down, it means that the number of high and low tension is lesser. This is very important because the higher the tension, the lower the casting distance, the smaller the casting distances, okay? So that's why when you have a longer up and down time, you see, in the same amount of time that I crank this reel, it has only gone up and down probably like 5-6 times. But on the conventional one, on the 2019 or 2020 Stella SW, you will see if you crank this long, you'll probably get like what, 10 times up and down, right? So that's very important. That's infinity loop for you guys. All right, next, let's have a look at the XS Tough Drag. XS Tough Drag is an improvement from the X Tough Drag, right? It improves the drag. How does it improve it? Two things, okay? Drag size and drag position. It has moved the drag position so that the distribution of the heat is actually more even across the whole spool. You know, when you do casts or when you fight fish, right? Let's say you get a very, very big GT and it pulls your line straight out, and you're gonna get a lot of heat generated here, right? With a larger drag washer, the heat is actually absorbed better and also distributed better. With the change in position of the drag washer, you can distribute the heat throughout the whole spool instead of just concentrated here. Why is that important? More heat means more risk of line breakage, right? So it's very important that you keep your heat, you cool your reel down, okay? And the difference is as much as 20 degrees Celsius, okay? That's 20 degrees Celsius, guys, not Fahrenheit, yeah? So that's a huge difference. Okay, now lastly is the new X Protect. We call it the new X Protect on the line roller. So, you already know like how good Shimano's water resistance is, right? But now with the new X Protect, we've changed the structure so much so that when water enters one way and you spin it like this, there's some rolling force, there's centrifugal force, right? Water going in here will just go right out the other way, okay? So as long as you're cranking this reel, water going into the line roller will just go straight out the other way, okay? But it doesn't mean that if I keep it still, the water will just go away on its own, because the structure is so much so that it depends on the centrifugal force. So you have to keep it cranking like this for the water to go in one end and out the other end. Alright, so that is the Stella SW, guys. So let me show you the other knobs. Okay. On the 14,000, you get an egg-shaped knob. This is a 14,000, right? You get a egg-shaped knob. All right. Very beautiful reel. Again, you have the infinity loop. Look how slowly it moves up and down. Oh, one more thing, guys, before I forget. This here is a UI improvement, okay? The drag knob here has been made larger, if you notice, 25% larger. So, easier for you to adjust your drag knobs during fights and during casts. All right, very, very convenient. All right, so that's a quick look at the Stella SW. Next, let's have a look at, what else? The Twinpower XD, eh? Okay, we have it just beside the Stella SW, great. Okay, so for the Twinpower XD, right, we have 5 models here. Okay. So you have the C3000 HG, the C3000 XG, 4000 PG, 4000 HG, 4000 XG, and C5000 XG. Oh, 6 models. There are 6 models there. Okay, so the new Twinpower XD, what are the differences? Let's just talk about the series first, okay? Where is the Twinpower XD? The Twinpower XD is number 2 on the MGL series, in the MGL series. The MGL series is a series that Shimano is very confident in helping you in finesse fishing, okay? Why? Because it's very light. Very light in the sense of the cranking, okay? The start and stop motion is very, very easily achieved. Look here. You see how easily I can start and stop the reel? It's super light in this sense. Now, take a look at this. It stops on its own very, very quickly. And also, it starts very easily. See that? This is the main point of the MGL series, okay? It's more for finesse fishing, okay? So what does the XD mean? Probably a lot of people, they do not know what XD means, right? XD here, the Twinpower XD, it means extra durable, okay? So MGL series, when we're talking about finesse fishing, you might think, the reel is too weak for me, right? It might dent easily, it might have more play in it. It cannot fight bigger fishes, right? But on the Twinpower XD, you can definitely do more in terms of durability, okay? Fight stronger fish on this. So, Twinpower XD, you get different knobs depending on which size you get, okay? So this is a C3000, the knobs on the C3000. This is a knob on the 4000. 4000 here as well. 4000 XG and C5000 XG, okay? Okay, so let's have a closer look at the Twinpower XD. So there's a lot of new things about the Twinpower XD, right? You have the Infinity Drive, Infinity Loop, okay? So let's go through it one by one. Infinity Drive is very simply put, is more power for the same effort, or the same power, lesser effort. Because the reel does more of the work for you, okay? That's the simplest way I can put it to you guys. And it's too bad that you can't really experience it because there's a awesome experience booth here, but that's all I can explain to you guys, right? But next, let's have a look at the Infinity Loop. It's the same as the Stella SW, okay? You see how slowly it moves up and down, okay? So this has the same effect as the Infinity Loop on the Stella SW. Longer casting distances, okay? So next, there's also the Infinity Cross. Let me see if I can show you. So you can see here, this is a drive gear, right? This is the old Twinpower. This is what's on the old Twinpower XD, and this is what's on the 2025 Twinpower XD. Okay, you can clearly see the difference in the gear size, okay? And also the width. You see the width? With this increase in width, it means the pressure is more evenly distributed. All right, so this 2025 Twinpower XD can handle more compared to the 2021 Twinpower XD. That's why it's called XD, right? Extra durable, guys. All right, next, the new X Protect, which is the same as the Stella SW. Okay, so as you can see here, which Shimano has so graciously helped us make, you can see that when the reel is rolling, right, water enters this way, and then it enters the other side. Oh, sorry. So when it's rolling like this, when you crank the reel like this and it's spinning, water goes in this way and it exits the other way of the line roller. So there's the line roller. All right, guys. So that's it for the Twinpower XD. Let's have a look at the next reel. What do we want to have a look next? Let's see. We have, how about some big cast reels? Oh, wait. That's right, the spinning reel. One more thing, the Ultegra FD. Let's have a look. Now, where is the Ultegra FD? Okay, I found it. Okay, so the Ultegra FD. First things first, let's just say it is part of the Infinity Drive family now, all right? Infinity Drive is what we mentioned earlier. For the same amount of power, you use lesser effort, or you use the same effort for more power. So this reel is an entry level to the Core Solid series as well. So we talked about the MGL series earlier, right, on the Twinpower XD. This is the Core Solid series, right? So what is different is, remember how we cranked the reel earlier? The start and stop, right, on the Twinpower XD. So this one, the start and stop, immediately I can feel that it is slightly heavier. But is this bad? No. It depends on the application. You can see here. It's slightly heavier, okay, meaning that it's more powerful. Why? This reel, the Core Solid series, the Core Solid series is more specialized in continuous cranking, right? So when I do this continuous cranking, it actually feels lighter because the reel helps me to crank a little bit. It uses inertia. So what do I mean, right? Let's see. You see that, guys? Compared to the Twinpower XD? Let me show you again. Right. You see how long it cranks for? The Twinpower XD roughly stopped here, but this one continuously cranked up to here. And that's just with a very light push, right? So let's say I do something stronger. That was still very light, guys. See that? So this is the Core Solid series. Very, very different from the MGL series. So if you guys ever wonder why should I get the Stradic over the Vanford, it's the same logic, right? Because the Vanford is from the MGL series. The Stradic is from the Core Solid series, the same as the Ultegra. So Core Solid series, entry, Ultegra. And it has the Infinity Drive. Okay, it also has the Infinity Cross. We had a look at this earlier. There's the old Ultegra, there's the latest Ultegra. You see larger drive gears on the new Ultegra, and you also see wider teeth. The gear tooth is wider here. Right, very obvious, right guys? So this gives you a lot of durability to the gear system. Alright, so that is the Ultegra FD. Let me just say, guys, there's a lot of SKUs in this lineup, okay? As you can see, you have different types of knot for different SKUs as well. The C5000 XG, you have a round handle knot, okay? The 4000 XG, you have a T-shaped one. And let's see, I know there's a smaller T-shaped knot. Where is it? No, here, you see? The C3000 has a smaller T-shaped knot as compared to the 4000. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, this is another knot. This is a smaller one, the more compact one. Can you see? Yeah, this is for the smaller sizes. Alright, so that's it for the Ultegra FD. Let's have a look at, what else? I think that's it for spinning. Let's have a look at some big casting reels. Oh, you're gonna love this one, guys. We have the Aldebaran DC. Yes, you heard me right. Aldebaran, we've only ever heard of BFS and MGL, right? Everything light. And DC usually for slightly medium, heavy to heavy lures. But now we have the Aldebaran DC, a marriage of light and DC. Let me see if I can get in. Oh, I can. It's here. Alright. So guys, can you see here? Aldebaran DC. Okay. So I'm not joking, right? This is really Aldebaran DC. Alright, so for the Aldebaran DC, it's a whole new segment on its own, so there's nothing to compare it to. Okay? It's a marriage of lightness and DC. Right? So because like we have had some anglers saying that they would like to cast lighter, but with more help from the reel, right? Because it takes a lot of experience and technique and skill to be able to cast with a low trajectory, okay, a very, very light lure, say 3.5 grams. But on this Aldebaran DC, you can do that, okay? So the size is actually 30, okay, as you can see here, 30. So some people, they might think a size 30 DC reel, it might be too small, right? But this bad boy here, it has a very, very good line cap of 185 meters of PE1 rated braided line, okay? But if you want something stronger, let's say PE2, it can still spool up to 90 meters, okay? Why is this important, right? Because when you're casting light, right, light to mid-light or medium weight lures, right, you actually don't need that much line, guys. So 90 meters of PE2 is more than enough. Or if you go for 1.5 or 1.0, right, you can go up to more than 100 meters of line. Okay, next, let's talk a little bit about the UI, the user experience, the user interface as well. You can see here that you have a lot of brakes. Last time on DC systems, right, you get the N, the P, and the F modes, okay? The N for the nylon, the F for the fluoro, and the P for the PE line, right? But now, that is slightly complicated for people who do not know, who do not really commonly use fluoro or nylon, right? Because in Southeast Asia, we usually use either nylon or PE. Fluoro, not so much. Now we have changed it to a very, very easy to understand LMH. Can you guess what that is, guys? L, low. M, medium. H, high. Okay? So L means the lowest brakes. Okay? See. This is the lowest brakes. And does this mean, is that all? Do you only have 3 settings on brakes? No. On each level, L, M, and H, you get 5 different types of brakes. You get 5 different levels of brakes. Okay, so here you adjust it here. This is the lowest, L1. So you want something stronger, you want the brakes to be stronger a little bit, L2. You want to be a little bit stronger, L3. Okay, maximum, L5. But if that's not enough for you, no worries guys. The next level is the M1. Okay. So then you have the M1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then go to H, you now have H1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many brake levels was that, guys? It was 15 levels. Okay. A lot of brake adjustments for people who really want to use different kind of lure weights. Okay. And let me just tell you this can cast as light as 3.5 grams of a shad lure. All right. So if you don't believe me, you can get this reel and try it out for yourself. Okay. The concept of this reel is to use light lures with a very small force, but still be able to cast low trajectory and getting good casting distances. Okay? That is the concept of the Aldebaran DC. Not to forget the micro module gear 2, okay, for its smoothness. Alright, so that is all we have to say about the Aldebaran DC. It's a very unique reel, and I am very sure this is going to be one of the hard hitters in Shimano's lineup this year. Alright. Oh guys, one more thing about the Aldebaran DC that I forgot to mention. Okay, sorry. So this is very important, the MGL Spool 4. Right? Oh, we have our instructor here, Jeffrey. He's doing his TikTok live. Awesome guy. Alright. Guys, let's have a look. Let's have a look on at the Aldebaran DC, right? So you see this. MGL Spool 4, right? The MGL Spool 4. This is very important because why? It's because of this spool that we could even get the line cap that I mentioned earlier. The PE1 at 185 meters, PE2 at 90 meters, okay? How is this spool more special? Because of the groove. There's a slight groove that portrays upwards a little bit here in the center. You can't really see it, right? You can't really see it here. But then it is there, okay? So how it helps is that it doesn't let your line, right, collapse in the middle, okay? So when usually, right, in most spools, when you spool a lot of line into the reel, right, the middle will collapse downwards, okay? And then you'll get a lot of line on the side, right? When that happens, right, casting distances is definitely affected, right? So because of the slight groove in the middle, upwards, right, when you spool your line full, it will be it will be packed very neatly, very balanced, okay? So the sides, they will not have more line than they should, okay? The side will have the same height of line as the center, so no collapsing of line in the center. So when your line is balanced, it's packed very balanced, right? Very balancedly packed, very packed neatly. When it goes into the reel neatly, it goes out of the reel neatly as well. So when that happens, there's lesser line friction, giving you more casting distances. And that is how the Aldebaran DC gives you more casting distances, guys. The MGL Spool 4. Alright, now let's move on to the next one, the Antares. I shall go in and cop one out. Alright, the Antares, where is the logo? I can never find the logo on the Antares, guys. Oh, it's here. It's that premium. Okay? So guys, Antares, first impression, size 100. Okay? You might think it's not enough, but same. It has the MGL Spool 4. There we go. Okay? So with the MGL Spool 4, you can spool more line. Okay? And you get a more neatly packed line as well. A more neatly packed spool. Again, the same as the Aldebaran DC, when you get a neatly packed spool of line, the line goes out of the reel much smoother. Okay, when that happens, you get more casting distances. Okay, there's a lot of changes in this reel. Okay, let's go through the first very notable one. You see this, the clutch, right? The clutch has been made slightly bigger, okay, and it has an angle. It has been angled lower. Why? Why did Shimano change this? It's because for you to be able to engage and disengage the clutch with more comfort. Okay, if this area is larger, you see, I have medium thumbs, guys. I believe I have medium-sized thumbs. So when I put it here, you see, I still have a lot of space on the sides, right? Can you see this, guys? Okay, so this gives me a lot more comfort when I'm doing my engage and disengaging of the clutch. Next, it has also been lowered. The clutch has also been lowered. Can you see here? See this height? See how much it goes down? This is very important because why? It gives you more access to the spool. So when you want to do any thumbing operations, you want to press on the spool, press on the line for your casting, right? You can. And you can do this with more comfort, and you can do this more easily as well. Okay? Then, you see the line guide. Okay, so you see the line guide, right, guys? It has adopted a mule shape, okay? And it helps with feeding the line out, okay, out of the spool. You get lesser friction because of how, when the line goes through the line guide, it has a larger hole. But when it exits, it has a smaller hole. Okay? So that is how line friction is reduced and giving you more casting distance. Alright? Okay, so next, we also have this. The SVS brake system. Oh! Here we go, guys. Okay, so for the SVS brake system, you have 6 pins here. If you want more brakes, you just engage more pins. But guys, with the SVS brake system, I really have to explain this to you guys once more because a lot of people have been asking me. And I've been seeing a lot of anglers doing it. Not saying wrong, it's just that it's less efficient, okay? So for brake pads, right, you always want to engage them diagonally, okay? So don't do this. Don't engage 1 and 2. Don't engage brake pads, right, side by side to each other. Because, right, it means like the other side, you don't have brakes holding on to the spool, okay? So always, right, do this. When you want to have brakes here, right, you also engage the brakes on the other side. Like this, diagonally. Right? And if this is not enough, engage this one here and again engage the other side as well. Okay? So now you have this side engaged and this side engaged. This one is still disengaged. And if it's not enough, you engage more. You engage the final set. Okay? Alright? So this is very important, guys. Remember to always set your brakes diagonally when you use the SVS brake system. I forgot to cover one reel earlier, which is Ocea Conquest CT. Very, very important reel. Okay, here. So we've been getting a lot of interest in this reel. Okay, so at first, right, we saw the size 300 release in the second half of last year, 2024. Let's see here. This is 300. Okay. And this year, we have come up with the 200. Okay, so there are a few things to talk about this reel, like really some UI and UX features, right? So let's talk about the first one, is the 4-lever. You can see that the 4-lever design has been changed. Okay? So with this 4-lever design change, right, you can easily use one hand to operate the 4-lever while you do this, right? Okay, so that's one. The other one, right, is a counter. Okay? I don't know if you can see this, guys, but can you see that there's a slight angle? A slight angle on the counter. It has been angled up 5 degrees. I'm not too sure if you can see, if compared to the older Ocea Conquest CT, right? But it has indeed been increased by 5 degrees, increased up the angle. Why? Because like when we jig like this, right? And when we strike, we jig at this angle, right? At this angle. So if you want to see where you got your strike, you have to do this. Right? You have to like bend over a little bit. It's not that much of an inconvenience, but it is still an inconvenience nonetheless. Right. So with this angle up, right, when you're doing this, I can easily see what the number is. Okay? So as you can see, even when I'm jigging like this, I can see that I'm at 21 meters right now. Okay? 22, 23. I do not need to bend over, right? Or I do not need to tilt the reel up. Right? So this is a UI improvement. Okay, next. Let's also talk about the new gear ratio, which is the MG, the MG gear ratio. So this is a size 200 left-hand model MG. So we didn't used to have this gear ratio. Why did we introduce this gear ratio, right? It's because Shimano wanted to give more versatility to anglers. Some anglers would like to play bottom, some anglers would like to play jigging, right? So if you're that kind of angler in the middle, right, this is the perfect reel for you, because like the MG gives you lesser gear ratio for you to play your bottom, but not that low of a gear ratio such that it's the same as PG. When you're going to PG, right, it's very hard for you to jig fast. Okay, so that's why the MG is a very, very nice balance between the PG and HG gear ratio. But if you're a full-on jigging fanatic, then you can just go for the HG models. Where is the HG? Oh, here. The HG models. That is 300, and that's the 200. Here we have the 200 here. Okay. But if you're a bottom fanatic, then just go for the PG. But if you want more versatility, that's why Shimano came up with the MG gear ratio. Wait, one last thing, guys. You saw how I did the one-hand operation on the 300, right? Look at the 200. Even more easy to change this, okay? And the profile, if you can see, my hands, I actually have decent sized hands. It's not too big, not too small. But when I put it here, look at the palming effect. Look at the palmability, as I would like to say. Okay? It's very easy to palm this. Okay? Meaning that you can jig with it very, very comfortably. Alright? And this is size 200. So let's have a look at the size 300, right? In my hands here. See? Still very okay, but it's slightly larger, right? You see that it's slightly larger. So if that's the case, right, what does this mean for the 200? It means that it is very good for kids and as well as ladies, right? Ladies out there who have smaller hands or kids who have smaller hands, they just use the 200. Okay? Very, very easy. Right, so one very, very interesting thing I want to show you guys, right, is a new alarm feature here, right? It's very good for those bottom and jigging fanatics alike, okay? Because it helps you stay within your target column. Let's have a look at this, at how this works, right? So, let's say you've hit the bottom of a 70-meter seabed, right? You just simply press 2 times to access this feature. You have A5, A10, A15, A20, A25, and off. Okay? What this means is that the machine, the reel, will beep every 5 meters, will beep every 10 meters, beep every 15 meters, 20, 25 meters. So it depends on how wide of a water column you want to search for, you want to jig for, right? So let's say you're doing bottom and you want to keep it close to the bottom, right? And you want to only fish the last 10 meters, right, of the bottom. So you set it to A5. Hold on, yeah. Set the A5, you press it, you hold on it, so to set it right. So then, now, let's say you reach a bottom of let's say 71 meters. Okay, so after like I've set it to A5, right, and we hit the bottom of a 70-meter deep seabed, right. So we roll, it should beep at, 65. Do you hear that, guys? Let's do it again. You hear that at 60 again, right? 5 meters. So the next beep will be at 55 meters, right? And after 3 beeps, guys, that's it. That's all you get, 3 beeps, okay? So if you want to target, let's say, a column width of more than 15 meters, then you don't use A5. You use the next. Double click, A10. So because it beeps for 3 times, if your target column is 30 meters wide, you use A10. If you want to fish a wider column, you use A15. 3 times is 45 meters, and so on, right? So that's how you use this reel, this new feature. Okay, next, let's have a look at the handles. So on the 200 size, right, you get these 2 types of handle, one double and one round, okay? But on the MG and HG is a different length. Okay, you can see that this one is slightly longer for more leverage. Okay, so on the 300 you get a different handle here. Okay, this is a T-shaped handle. Can you see? And the shape has been changed such that it's easier for your index finger to lay snug here. So you can grab it like this, you can pinch it like this, okay? Or you can hold it like this. Okay? So let me show you again, yeah? You can grab it like this, okay? You can hold it like this, because this has also been enlarged. So you can hold it like this for light operations, and hold it like this for more leverage, or you can hold it like this going forward. Alright? Yeah, and that's all you need to know about the Ocea Conquest CT. Hey guys, so we've had a look at the Stella SW, we've had a look at the Twinpower XD, the Ultegra, Aldebaran DC, then the Antares. Okay, I think that's it for the spinning and the bait casters. Let's have a look at the electric reels. So guys, immediately I see the latest two here, okay? This is a place 4000 and this is a place 3000, okay? So what is new on these two reels, right, is you get the demo mode, okay? Demo mode means you can get it up to 100 right now to just try out different features, okay? This is a very, very entry-level model to Shimano's electric reel lineup. I wouldn't say there's a lot of difference between this, the latest, the 2025 place and the place that we currently have. So if you guys just want to have a feel of how electric fishing is, this would be a good entry model. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, we have the Beastmaster 12,000 MD. Okay, we got this 1 or 2 years ago. And beside it is the Beastmaster 9000, okay? So where, oh, the Beastmaster MD 6000. This has been quite popular in the Southeast Asia region, okay, because of its line capacity and the monstrous power. MD here means monster drive, alright? For the 12,000 MD, actually not a lot of people will find it very, very useful for its size unless you're going to very, very, very deep waters, okay? Mostly people in our region, the 6000 MD will be more than good. Right. Not so much of anything on the electric reel side, guys, but let's move on. What do we have here? Okay, guys, not too sure if you know, right? Barchetta FD. Right? Barchetta is actually it's an egging reel, right? I don't think a lot of people know, right? But this has been rebranded to an egging reel, okay? Why egging? Let's say in Malaysia, right? They use this specifically for arrowhead squids, right? Arrowhead squids and fish at night, right? They use it the same in Taiwan, in Korea, in Japan as well. Why is it important? Because all the Barchetta reels, right, has a line counter, right? So that's why all the Barchetta reels have been rebranded as egging reels. Okay? The line counters are very important because at night when you hunt for squids, right, they hunt from bottom to top column. So you need to find where they are. Once you get a feel of where they are in the water columns, right, using the line counter, you will know exactly where to fish next. Right? So that's a little bit about the Barchetta. Okay, I think that's it for reels. Let's check out the rods. Right? Let's see what rods do we have. Check out the grappler, guys. I think that's something that we're all very, very excited for, the grapplers. Hey, where are the grapplers? I think they're here. Is it? No. Ah, here. The grappler. Okay, guys, here we have the Type C. So, just to give a short introduction to the grappler, right? It has been a big hit for jigging fanatics in our region, Southeast Asia. Thank you everyone for the support. Okay, so the current grappler, right, it has 4 types. Type J, Type SJ, slow jigging, Type LJ, and then you have the Type C, casting, right? So in this year, Shimano, the 2025 grappler, it has a new type, which is called the Type SLJ. What this SLJ means is super light jigging, right? Super light jigging, you can think of it similar to our region's micro jigging. Okay? Anything lesser than 100 grams, belongs to super light jigging. Okay, so we have segmented that out from LJ. So now you have 5 types. Okay, from Type C, type casting, you have Type slow J, slow jigging, Type J, jigging, Type LJ, light jigging, and Type SLJ, super light jigging. Right? Just wanted to get that away. Okay. Next, SKUs. We have 39 SKUs across these 5 types. So it might be, you might think, oh, 39 SKUs, that's gonna be tough for me to choose. But no, we have made it quite easy to choose this time because we have standardized the lengths according to the different types. Except for maybe the Type C. The Type C still has a lot of length types, as you can see here. You have like, the shortest one is the 7 feet, and the longest one, I think it's the 8.2. Yes, the 8.2 or 8.2. So the longest one on the Type C you get is 8.2. 8 feet, 2 inches. Okay, let's have a look at the Type C. So one very nice feature is this. I don't know if you can see this, guys. The triangular shape here, okay? Can you see this? Can you see this feature here? Yeah, so this, right, because of the contour of these triangular shapes here, it gives you more grip, okay? So when you cast or when you fight with fish, provides you with more leverage. Okay, and next, let's have a look at the Type J. Yeah, the Type J. All right, Type J, you have quite a lot of SKUs here as well. Differ very. Okay, Type J, you have quite a lot of different lengths here as well. For the lighter ones, right, it's the same as 6 feet. You can see it's power 2, 3, 4, and this is 5, all right? But from 6, 7, and 8 onwards, right, for Type J, you get a different design, all right? Different design as in the rear seat, okay? The rear seat on the lighter ones, 2, 3, 4, 5 power is like this, okay? But for the heavier ones, right, you get something like this. It's a firmer grip on your reel. And you get the same triangular shape as you see on the Type C, the heavier Type C models here. This also provides you with a better grip, a firmer grip. Okay, and for models power 6, 7, and 8, right? 6 and 7, you get this kind of rubber gimbal. Okay? You can see, rubber gimbal. Okay? Gives you more power and leverage when you want to use your belt. And on the heaviest, power 8, you get a metal gimbal. Here. Alright? So that is the difference in features according to power on the Type J. Alright, next we move on to, it's the same as the spinning one, yeah, because at Type J you have the bait cast and bait cast overhead and the spinning models. So spinning models is the same as well. On the lower ones, power 2, 3, 4, 5, right, you get a different reel seat as compared to the 6, 7, 8. The rubber gimbal and metal gimbal applies as well. So for the power 8, you get a metal gimbal. 6 and 7, you get a rubber gimbal. Alright? So next, let's have a look at, oh yeah, so these are the Type J spinning models, as you can see here. 2, 3, 4, 5, same reel seat. But when you go up the power, right, you can see at 6, 7, 8 is a different reel seat here. For it's more firm. Okay? More firm for your reels. And you can see here, the 6 and 7, they have rubber gimbals. Alright? And for the power 8, you have the same metal gimbal. Yeah. Alright guys? So hope you're clear with that. Okay, next let's talk about the LJ. Type LJ, you get the same length, you see here. Okay? Type LJ, you get all of it is the standardized length at 6'3", okay? 6 foot 3 inches. The difference is you have a power 1, 2, and 3. So Type LJ, we have 6 SKUs, 3 bait casts, 3 spinnings, all the same length. Power 1, 2, 3, spinning 1, 2, 3. Okay? So very easy, very standardized, very easy for anglers to choose which kind of rods you need. Okay? So going down the line, you have Type SLJ. Okay? You can see Type SLJ, you have two different lengths here. So for the spinning, you get the same 6.6, okay? For the bait cast, you get a 6.3 length. So bait cast, you only have one SKU here, a power 0. For the spinning, you get a power 0 and power 00, right? So very, very light. These can help you jig for around, let's see, what's the jig weight? Okay, so on the 00 rating, you get a 10 to 80 gram jig, okay? Jig weight. And for the power 0, the jig weight is 20 to 100 grams. For the bait cast, power 0, you get a 30 to 100 grams jig weight. Alright, so SLJ, this is the latest SLJ segment of the Grappler. Okay, so I think we've gone through the Grappler. Oh, one more, Slow J. How could I forget about Slow J, right? Okay, so Slow J is the same with the length. You see the length, they're all 6'6", 6 foot 6 inches. Okay, just with differing powers. So for the Slow J, it's unique in the sense that it is all bait cast. The same as casting where it's all spinning, right? So type LJ, SLJ, and J, you get a mix of spinning and bait cast. But for SJ, Slow J, you only get bait casters, okay? So you can see the design. Have a look at the butt. Okay? So very easy to choose from these 6 SKUs because all of them are 6'6" in length. Just the power is different. It's from 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's all 39 SKUs. Okay? Alright guys, so we went through all the SKUs of the 2025 Grappler, right? But what are the differences between this Grappler and the Grappler that we've used since 2019, right? So, the biggest difference, right, the most important one is that all the 39 SKUs of the 2025 Grappler, they use a new material for the blanks, okay? And how does this new material help you? Is that it provides, it transfers more of the load, right, to the rod. So whether you're jigging or whether you're fighting, right, you will feel less fatigue. And you'll be able to stay on the water longer, okay, with these rods because of how they bend. Okay? You call it the taper, it's more automatic. Okay? It gives you more, the rebound is more, the rebound strength is higher as well. So that when you jig, right, you won't feel, let's say you jig the same weight, 500 grams, on the older Grappler, right, and you jig 500 grams on the new Grappler, you will feel that the new Grappler, it will feel lighter, right? That is what I'm trying to say. Right? So that is the most important part is the new materials used on the blanks across all the Grapplers. So as a summary, you get 6 SKUs in Slow J, you get 3 SKUs in SLJ, you get another 6 SKUs in LJ, you get 14 in J, and the rest in Type C. All right? So, let's have a look at the next rod. What other rods do we have? The UNFIX. So this rod, right, these rods, we have introduced them, I think it was in the second half of 2024, right? So these are actually travel rods. Let's have a closer look at them. So across the UNFIX, you have 4 to 5 pieces, right? 4 to 5 piece SKUs, okay? And they are very, very easy to travel around with. See? Hold on, guys. Haven't had breakfast yet. Whoa. All right. So here you go. 5 pieces. Right. So the UNFIX is part of a lineup, right, that Shimano has newly developed. Okay, the elder brother of UNFIX you have is beside, which is Capture. Okay, then the next is Disruption. Right, these are pretty mid and high-end rods here. Right, the UNFIX is the most affordable. It's the entry level to this new lineup. So this new lineup of travel rods, right, is for it was actually designed for Japanese, for the Japanese anglers, right, to go on expeditions. Right? So let's say when they want to travel to Indonesia or Thailand or Malaysia for those like for those black bass, right, or those big fish. In Vietnam and Thailand, we know we have the Bun Sam Ram, right, like ponds that have huge fish. Pating, I think, yeah. And in Vietnam, you have the Mekong ponds. Okay, so these offer very big fish. Okay? And in Indonesia, you have a lot of different spots for black bass, right? So these are actually designed for Japanese anglers to go on expeditions, right? So this new lineup is designed specifically for expeditions. But does that mean that it's not suitable for our region? Not really, because in our region, we also need this. If you have known, I do know quite a few of my friends, right, from Singapore. They like to go on fishing tours in Indonesia, especially, where the fishing tour guides, they bring them to Ambon Islands, I think, and Mentawai in Sumatra. So these are all very popular places for black bass, and you really need a stronger rod, okay? Stronger rod for these fish, but at the same time, traveling so much, right? I think they fly 2 or 3 links just for one-way flight, one-way route to where they want to get. So mobility is also a very important criteria for black bass anglers, black bass hunters, right? So if you ever want to challenge black bass, you can look at capture or the UNFIX. And if you're very particular about your tackle, you can have a look at disruption. So let's have a closer look at capture. Right? So the difference is, right, on the UNFIX you get 4 and 5 piece SKUs. For capture, you get 4 piece. You get 4 piece as well, but there is also an option of 2 piece. Right? So for people who feel very iffy about travel rods, right, not to worry. The capture has 2 piece SKUs. Let me find them, right. Hold on. So this is 5 piece, this is 4, this is 5, this is 5 piece as well. Oh yeah, here, the 2 piece. For black bass, right, I really do recommend, let's see, it's MH. I think it's this one. Yeah, where is the XSSH? Ah, yeah, here. Yeah. So guys, look at this. So the black bass hunters and anglers out there, this is a perfect spec for that. Look at the lure weight. It's a 500 gram lure weight. This is my first time seeing Shimano having a 500 gram lure weight, all right? The blanks might be a little bit coarser than you like, a little bit thicker than you like. It's slightly heavier, okay, as you can see here, but it is really sturdy and really strong. Right? It will fit the needs of black bass hunters and anglers, I am sure. All right. So this comes in at 5 piece. But how about the 2 piece ones? Let's see. Okay, you have 2 piece here. The H action, okay, and you see the SB. So sometimes you see SB on Shimano's line of rods, right? So the SB here means swim bait. So if you're looking to use like big baits, right? Let's say 48 grams or 56 grams, things like that. The SB models are perfect. Okay. Okay. So what else have we not covered? Suitable for our region, huh? Let's see. What else? What else? I think that's about it, guys. Let's have a look at lures, okay? Oh, rods. How can we forget about Sephia? So sotong. Hold on, guys. Our dear Japanese instructor for Eging, Tomido Koro-san, still as young as ever. Very energetic. Yeah. Right, so he's doing a little bit of explanation about the Sephia Limited. So Sephia Limited, right? We in this year 2025 we have two types of Sephia Limited. One is the shore and the shore egging type, and the other one is metal Sutte. So I believe people have been hearing about the metal Sutte style the past year because we've been promoting it quite heavily in Singapore and in Malaysia, right? So the metal Sutte is actually a style where it's more suitable to hunt for arrowhead squids as compared to big eye squids or the green eye squids or the big fin reef squids, okay? So those we usually use tip egging rods. But for arrowhead squids, we usually will recommend the metal Sutte rods, okay? Because why? Because like these rods, right, they are more suitable for doing different depths, okay, with a sinker. So with heavier sinkers, right, the tip egging has slight limitations because it's softer, okay, at the butt. But the metal Sutte is stronger at the butt. So if you want to use heavier weights, right, the metal Sutte is a very, very good choice. So the Sephia Limited, right, it actually features so for those like fanatics out there, right, you know how the Ocea Limited has a gold-plated guide at the tip, right? So that's the same with the Sephia Limited. Right? All the rods, right, they have tips plated with gold. So if you're really, really into those stuffs, right, the Sephia Limited, you could consider the Sephia Limited, definitely. So it's not just about looks, guys. The Sephia Limited metal Sutte is also about practicality and functionality. Okay? It has been made with more material in different parts, right? So to give it that finesse kind of feel, right? Because like you see how you can see how soft the tip is, right? But then when you come to the blanks, it is still very, very strong. Yeah. So the Sephia Limited compared to its peers, right? Let's say Sephia XU or Sephia XR, it has more. It is a full package. Okay, you don't get any weird feelings when you use it. Okay? Let's have a look at the demonstration. So he's saying right now that the tip, right, they've made it slightly longer. Okay, so for the softness, and the blank is also slightly softer as well. So that it provides you with more support. So he said like this is his baby, he says. He has spent quite a lot of time thinking about how to design this rod, right, so that all anglers can enjoy using it. So if you look at the handle, right, you look at the grip. If you look at the grip, right, the design is also different. It uses a full monocoque grip, the full carbon monocoque grip. So what you're seeing right now is the uki glass top, right? So actually, when you talk about solid tips, right, there's actually two types, okay? Carbon solids and glass solids. So this is the glass solid. You can see how vertical, right? How vertical it can go. And why it's colored that way, the green and red, is because it looks like a float, right, guys? So you can think of this rod as a float as well, for more visibility. So when it's vertical, right, the green and red moving up and down, you can easily see it. So why does it use glass solid tips, right? It's because like, sometimes you want to use heavier sinkers. That's when you switch to glass solid tips. So let's say you're using 100 grams, 150 grams, 200 grams, right, of sinker weight, you can use the glass solid tips. Now look at the blanks. It's showing how thin it is. So he's saying that the blanks is not only just thin and light, it can also help you with your catch because of the high power X and Spiral X core. So he's saying that the real seat, right, has been designed so that it fits perfectly in your palms. All the grooves, they have been specially designed for anglers' comfort. So now we're going to the grip. So the shape has also changed. And so it's been made narrower so that when you put it under your armpits, right, it feels more comfortable. Oh guys, I actually see that the gold-plated guides, right, they're not just on the top, they are on the whole solid tip section, right? So the white and red, the colorful sections that you see, right, they're all the tips there, they're plated with gold. Kind of interesting. Alright guys, let's check out the lines next. Alright, this year we have the Hardbull 8 Plus, guys. So, what is different in our region, right? I think we mostly use Pitbull or Kairiki. Okay, so the main difference, right, is here. The materials used. In Kairiki, we use Izanas. Okay, in Pitbull as well, we use Izanas. But in Hardbull, right, we use Spectra, the same as Power Pro. Okay, so what are the differences, guys? Why buy Hardbull when you've been using Pitbull or Kairiki all this while, right? So let me give you the reasons why. So for the Hardbull 8 Plus, right, the Spectra material, it is more abrasion resistant. Okay, the pulling strength, Izanas might be stronger in pulling strength, okay, but in abrasion resistance wise, Hardbull will definitely, the Spectra, right, will definitely win the Izanas. Why is this important, right, guys? Because it's very important for a few reasons. When you're doing deep game when you're doing bottom and you have all these structures, right, it means Hardbull is the way to go because of the abrasion resistance. Okay? You need that abrasion resistance so that your line doesn't break when touching all those obstacles and around the seabed. Okay, that's very important. And does this mean that you can only use it for spinning? Not really. Because when you do casting, right, when there are structures around, when you're casting lures, and there are, let's say, trees, broken trees, and they are very, very sharp for those anglers who know, right, like in dams, very, very sharp structures as well, protruding out from the water. So when you're fishing around that area, right, Hardbull will also help. Another thing why Hardbull, the Spectra, right, is better, I would say better than Izanas, right, in a way, is that when you get backlash on your bait casters, right, because of how harder it is compared to Izanas, the line, right, it does not eat into itself, right? So because Spectra, right, it is slightly harder compared to Izanas. What do I mean by harder? See, it's slightly harder, right? But is this a bad thing? Not really, right? When you get backlash, right, on your bait casters, this will actually help you untangle them more easily, right? Because they're harder, they're slightly harder. Right? This brings me to the next topic of talking about Ocea 17. Okay, so we have gone through Hardbull and Pitbull. Difference is the material, guys. Spectra, Izanas. Izanas is the same as Kairiki. Spectra is the same as Power Pro, as what Power Pro uses. Okay. So just be very, very mindful of differences. They have different applications. More obstacles, you're looking at Spectra because of the high abrasion resistance. All right, now let's have a look at the Ocea 17 Plus. Take a look here. We have the connecting spool. Take a look here. We have the connecting spool, okay, and we also have the single spools. Okay, so let's have a very, very simple comparison, right? between our current highest end line, which is the Ocea 8, and the newest highest end line, which is the Ocea 17 Plus. So, what does 17 Plus mean? As I've covered in front, right, during the InfinityConnect section, 17 means there are 16 braids inside with a core, with a single core in the middle of the line. So 1 plus 16 is 17. Okay, so let's talk about material. Compared to the Ocea 8, the Ocea 17 Plus uses a different material. Okay, Ocea 8 uses X filament, while the Ocea 17 Plus, right, the Ocea 17 Plus, it uses a high tensile Izanas material. Okay, so what does this mean? It means that it has a lot of strength. Yeah, because for Izanas, right? But with that much strength, it will become kind of hard, right? So when it's very hard, right, it's not very easy to use. That's why Shimano has put in the core in the middle. And what is that core made of? It is made of the X filament used in Ocea 8. So, when you use all the high tensile grade Izanas material, right, for the Ocea 17, what it does, right, it makes the line too hard. But then when you use a core that is soft, you get a result of something in between. Soft and hard in between. Okay? That is how Shimano achieves very high strength for the Ocea 17 Plus, but still soft enough to use for fishing. Right? Okay, so let's have a look at the differences between the Ocea 8 and the Ocea 17 Plus here. So on my left hand, we have the Ocea 8. On my right hand, we have the Ocea 17 Plus. Immediately, guys, I can feel the difference in texture. Okay? The surface area, the surface is much smoother on the Ocea 17 Plus. Okay? It's much smoother here. And on the Ocea 8, it is slightly coarser. But I don't know if you guys can actually tell right now that this Ocea 17 Plus is slightly harder. I think you can see it very clearly. Right. You see, like, this is much harder compared to the Ocea 8. So, it is because of what we mentioned earlier. Like the Ocea 17 Plus, right, it has a single core in the middle that uses this same material, like X filament. And while the other 16 braids, right, beside it, around it, is all high tensile grade Izanas material. Okay? So if we were to use only the 16, it will be too hard. That's why we introduce a core using the material that is same as the Ocea 8. Okay? Alright, so because of how smooth it is, right, it is very abrasion resistant as well. So as we've seen earlier underneath the microscope, after 200 casts that Suzuki-san made during his testing of the lines, right, between Ocea 8 and Ocea 17, the Ocea 17 looked as good as new. Okay? So not only has the strength improved on the Ocea 17 Plus, but also the durability has been strongly improved. Next, let's have a look at the lure section. Finally, the lure section. All right, let's go, guys. Okay, guys, like the main thing I want to talk to you about here, right, is actually the metal Sutte that we talked about earlier, like when we were at the Sephia Limited corner. So, for egging, right, I'm sure you guys have heard about the tip egging technique. So I would like to talk a little bit more about the metal Sutte technique. The metal Sutte technique, right, there are a few things involved. We use sinker weights, but as we also use eggy lures, right? So for the eggies, right, we use eggies like this. Why? They are very, very slow sinking, right? You have the Sui dropper 1.5, 1.8, 2.5, this is new, okay? You have the Sui dropper flash boost 1.8, 2.5, this is current, okay? Then you have the Sui stick 80 and Sui stick 80 flash boost. This range is also current, okay? So this is what you use for the eggy lure. So on the other, before the eggy lure, right, you connect your leader to a sinker weight usually. But instead of a sinker weight, right, let's say there are not a lot of obstructions near the seabed. So what you can do is you can change it with this. This is what we call metal Sutte. These are all made of metal. That's why we have the name metal Sutte. Okay? So first you have the Koro. Okay? The Koro Sutte. This one is also the Koro Sutte. So this is the current lineup. Okay? with a current line of 10, 12, 15, 20, 25 gold, right? That's the sinker weight here. Okay, you have 10, 12, 15, 20, 25. Now, this is the new one that we have in 2025. And you have the size 30, size 35, size 40, size 45. Okay, so what this means is that at its heaviest, you have around, I think it's 190 plus grams. No, 140 plus grams of weight. Okay, so if you're fishing deeper waters and you want to go down faster, right, to the bottom of the sea, this is the way to go. So now you have also Nori Nori Sutte here, and there's also a Ike Sutte, but I don't see it here. Anyway, the difference between these three, right, Koro, Nori Nori, and Ike, right, is just the sinking speed, right? That's it. Ike has a faster sinking speed. Nori Nori has a slower sinking speed. Koro is just in between. So in our region, I always recommend people to use Koro. Okay? Why? Because it has a medium sinking speed. Right? That's all you need. Because if you use Ike, which has a fast sinking speed, it might sink too fast. Plus, our region, we don't really have that deep of water to use Ike, right? But you want it to sink slow, you can use Nori Nori Sutte. Okay? So, Koro Sutte, why is it good? Because, right, instead of a metal sinker with no hooks, now you have a metal sinker that doubles up as a lure. Right? So when you go down to the water, right, or to the bottom, to the middle, or to the top column, you actually have this paired with this. Right? So you can actually get a double, which I constantly see. Right? I constantly see people getting double when they use Koro and Egi. Okay? So that is one very, very important part. Next, let's talk a little bit about tip egging as well. Why tip egging? Because we have a whole new lineup here, right? This was launched in 2024, okay? But second half of 2024. So you can see here, the entourage. What we have done differently, right, is if you look at this section here, it's the Antares Seagull. So we have 3.5 size, okay? All the sizes are the same, but we have different weight, S0, S1, S2, S3, okay? So the feedback we got was like, when they wanted to change between weights, right, it was a little bit troublesome, right? So what we did is, we standardized the whole entourage, the latest entourage, to 3.0, a size 3.0, but with the same weight across, okay? So they are all at 21 grams of weight. So what is different between this Entourage Seagull and this Sephia Entourage, the latest one? Can you see the fin, guys? Can you see the fin? That is what we call the stabilizer fin. Okay? It helps by keeping the Egi stable when it sinks down. It does not spiral. It just goes down quick. Because when you spiral, it will take more time for it to reach the bottom. Okay? And when after jerking, right, tip egging is a very aggressive style. Okay? So when you do like things like pa 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 pa, right? When you jig like this, pa 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 pa, and you come to a stop abruptly. Without the fin, it will still wobble a little bit more before it stops. But with the fin, it stops almost immediately. It goes into that stable orientation that we all want. Not just us, even squids want it, right? So that's why it's very, very important. Now, why did we standardize the weight to 21 grams? Simply because if you wanted more weight for it to sink faster, right, you do not need to switch between lures. You simply just need to put on a sinker mask. That's all. And our design the head has been designed such that it is compatible with most sinker weights. Okay, most mass sinkers, not sinker weights, sorry, mass sinkers. Now, lastly, I just want to talk about the hook. Okay, so even though the size, right, has been changed to 3.0 from the 3.5, the hook size stays the same. Okay, look at this. This is 3.5, right? And look at this. The hook is the same as the hooks on the 3.5, right? So we did this, right? Shimano did this because we still want the effects of a strong and secure hook. Okay, when you get that strike. All right, so next, let's have a look at one of Shimano's latest Egi lure as well. Okay, this is the Sepy. Sephia Sepy, they call it. Okay, this is at size 1.5. You get 6 colors. Okay, And this weighs in at just 4.4 grams, okay? Very, very light. So for those, I understand that in our region, some anglers, they like using very, very light eggy lures, right? So this would be a perfect choice for those anglers out there. So one thing you immediately notice, right, is the hook. Instead of 2, you only get 1. Why? It's because it's all to maintain that stable orientation and also to provide that dart action. So we have done some testing, right? So if we had used 2 hooks, right, like this, okay? If you use 2 hooks like this on this Sephia Sepy, right, then what happens is when you jerk, right, when you jerk your rod, right, when you pull the eggy lure, what happens is that it moves almost straight. Okay? There's no darting. We always want the eggy lure, right, to dart like a prawn, right, like a shrimp, so that we can attract those squids. But if we had used 2 hooks, right, that wouldn't work. So that's why we use 1. Okay? But not to worry, this one is very sharp and strong as well, these hooks. Okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about the orientation of the eggy lure. The orientation of the eggy lure is like this. Let's say this is your eggy lure. You throw it out. When it sinks, right, it sinks almost vertically. Right? So for that fast sinking. Then when it reaches almost the bottom, then you do something like this, right? You tout the line. You give the line some tension so that, remember this is the head, okay? It sinks down, so it becomes like this, right? So for Sepy, it goes immediately like this. Stable, horizontal. Compared to the clinch, right? The clinch has a little bit of angle. When the clinch goes down like this, when line tension is applied, it goes a bit like this. This is a clinch. But for Sepy, it goes like this, right? Almost horizontal. So this is very important as well. We wouldn't want it to go head up, okay, or tails down. We want it to be horizontal. Okay. So this, as you may have known, this is more for shore egging, okay? Not really for bow egging. Right? Bow egging, you use either metal Sutte or tip egging more. All right. So yeah, that's it about the Sephia Sepy. Oh, it feels so good to say Sephia Sepy, Sephia Sepy. Okay, what else do we have, guys? Oh, this is also something new. Right? This is the Sephia Clinch, but it's sized at 3.8. I know like the larger sizes are not that popular in our region, but you can try it out because of its very, very interesting color. Look at this. This color is so interesting. Right. Okay, guys, so let me just explain something, right? Because some anglers might be confused about this, is the differences between Kimura, Blue Glow, and Glow, and the ones without. So, Shimano has designed this, right, so that we get different kinds of glow. Okay? So for Kimura, it's purely for UV, right? So it reflects UV off the lure. So for Glow and Blue Glow, the difference is in the color of the glow. This one glows green, this one glows blue. And these two, they store the light from the sun. All right. So for Kimura though, these reflect UV, right? So when there is no sun, there is no reflection. They don't reflect UV anymore, right? So UV is not really visible to the human eye, but it's visible to the animal eye. Right? So animals like squid. So why? Why do we have these variations? It's because for you to do some rotation. Okay? Let's say you use this glow, right? Okay? And you don't get any bites, then you can change to Blue Glow. If Blue Glow you don't get any bites, you change to Kimura. If Kimura you don't get any bites, you change to ones without any glow at all. Okay? But one thing to take note, right, guys, is that these two, they stock up on light, right? The light from the energy from the sun. But Kimura models, they don't. Okay? So they only reflect the UV rays when there is UV ray. Okay? Meaning more for daytime use. Okay? And when do you switch between Glow, Blue Glow, and Kimura is, it depends on your target column. When you're targeting somewhere like that is not that deep, right, you use the Kimura models. Why? Because they are not that deep, the UV ray can still reach the lures. But when you go deeper, the Kimura, the UV rays, they do not reach the lure, so they cannot reflect any rays, right, of them. That is when you use the glow or blue glow, because they actually store energy from the sun. Okay? So that's how you differentiate between glow, blue glow camera and the ones without. Okay, it's just for rotation purposes, because you will not know what works for that day until you get your first strike. Okay guys, so I hope I've made that clear. Alright, so lastly guys, let's take a look at the sinking speeds of all the Shimano eggy lures that we have, right? This is mainly for shore egging. Okay, so as you can see here, we have from the graph, the chart has from 2 seconds per meter to 8 seconds per meter. So what does this mean? 2 seconds per meter means it is a faster sinking, right? 8 meters per second means it is a slower sinking. The Sepy is in the middle at 3.7, okay? And you have the clinch between 3.5 to 4 seconds per meter. Then you have this clinch flash boost, okay? This one is a clinch deep. Right? Why is it called deep? Because it has a faster sinking speed out of all of these eggy lures. You can see 1.9 seconds per meter, meaning that it only take less than 10 seconds to go down 5 meters. So, what does this all mean? This is just to help you choose your eggy lures, because it depends on where you go egging. Let's say you're just going to the shore not far from your home, and that is your usual go-to place, and the depth is not that deep. Let's say it's only 2, 3 or 5 meters deep. Then you probably like something that is medium, something with medium sinking speed, okay, and not that fast. But sometimes if you're already familiar with the area and you know for that day that squids, they lurk around the bottom, then you like something that is fast sinking, because when it is fast sinking, right, you get to your target zone faster. So it all depends on where the target zone is. If the squid for that day does not take anything from below, from the bottom of the shore, then you will use something that is slower sinking. Something like maybe 4 seconds per meter, or maybe 8 seconds per meter, right? It's all about rotating, guys. Rotating between fast sinking, slow sinking, or medium sinking to find where the sweet spot of that day is. Because every single day, different things work on different days. Okay? So keep that in mind. Alright, now let's go and have a look at a water splasher, right? A screw drive. It's what we call a the screw drive model. Alright guys, so screw drive as promised. Here is the Ocea screw drive. Okay? So a short introduction. 180F is a 180 mm, which is 18 centimeters long. It's a floating style, and it comes with 2 flash boost models. Alright, so guys, do you see this very, very unique design here? Okay, this part. What do you think it does? Let me show you. Okay, because this one is in a glass container right now. See guys? It turns. Alright, it turns. So, how does it turn? Because of the design here. Okay, design here. So when it moves like this, right? When it moves, gets pulled like this will turn like this. Okay? So, what is the concept of doing this, right? Firstly, when you use things like pencils or poppers, right? When you do popping, there is a slight action loss whenever you stop, like boom, then boom, boom, like this, right? That's usually how poppers work. But this one, there is no action loss as well, at all. Because you can just keep on reeling, and it will just stay like this. It's literally how the orientation will be like. The only part that moves is this part. And this is how it will move. We'll show you a video clip. We'll pull out a video clip for you to see as well. Okay? So, the concept of this, right, is to introduce a new lure to your rotation, to your popping or casting rotation. So usually you use pencils or poppers, right, for your popping or casting. But now you have a third option to use the screw drive. Okay, so as you can see here, there are 2 types of fin size. Okay, you have the big and you have the small. So what I just showed you earlier was the small one. And how you can interchange them is by turning them like this. So this is how it looks like simply turn it to the groove here, right? And then pull it out. It's slightly hard, which is supposed to be a design so that it doesn't slip out easily. Okay, so there we go. And then you slot in the big one, like this. Okay. So here you go. So now I've changed to the big one. Why? Why do we have a big one and a small one? Firstly, it depends on the current. So when the current is fast, right, and you use the big fin, what it does is that it increases the resistance. So maybe you feel like it's very, very heavy, right? And some people don't like that. So you can change it, when the current is fast, you can change it to the smaller one, okay? But let's say when the current is slower, then you can use the small one or you can use the big one. But when the current is slower, right, I would recommend using the big one. Why? Because it produces more sound and more bubbles. Another thing is, when you use the screw drive, right, another thing about the screw drive is, you might think, I'll just use my regular popper because it's the same. It's just generating bubbles, right? Well, the difference is in how it generates the bubbles and how it sounds like when generating these bubbles. Poppers, when you generate bubbles, right, you'll go like boom, boom, boom. It's like gulps of water, boom, 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 like that, right? But when you talk about the screw drive, when you move it like this, it almost never sinks, okay? It almost never sinks. So, staying on top of the water surface, right, you'll go like this, and every time it does this, it's a new splashing sound. Pam, 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 psh, 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 psh. Okay, so that is the sound. There is a difference in using a popper and using the screw drive. So there's a difference in appeal as well. So when you're talking about let's say GT, right? When you're targeting GT, then you'll probably use something that has more appeal. Okay, so the last thing about the screw drive, right, is that when you use poppers or pencils, right, usually you can only pop, okay, to get that effect. But the screw drive, you can just reel, crank a reel, and it will still produce bubbles and generate that sound that you want. Right? So it offers more versatility as well. Right? It's more versatile. You can cast and pop with it. Okay? You can just reel it in, crank it in, no problem. Okay? So that is the appeal in the screw drive. I think this will be a very, very interesting lure for everyone to try out. Okay? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, sorry, 8. You have 8 colors, and the last 2 colors, the 7 and 8, they come with flash boost. Okay? So expect a little bit of premium there on these last 2 SKUs. Okay? Alright, now let's check out the rest of the booth. Oh my god, guys, we've been here for like an hour and plus, and I'm still only halfway done. So this part is the electric rods, like the mid-game light game. Okay? And we have the ice, the cooler boxes here. Yeah, the cooler boxes here. Oh, so there's something quite interesting. We did this last year as well, okay? So we actually put ice inside, okay? And we say that like how long it's been, okay? So it's been 19 hours since we put the ice in, okay? 19 hours, 17 seconds. And so it's still very, very icy, okay? Filled to the top. Do all of these have ice? Nah, only one. Alright, alright. Wow, this is cool too. Ah, it has water filled, guys. It's filled with water. But it doesn't splash out, even at 60 degrees. Alright, it's called the UNIFreeze. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, I forgot to talk about the boat rods. Let's go check them out. Okay, here These are the boat rods, okay? So usually we recommend this to Southeast Asia, the anglers in Southeast Asia for to pair with electric reels, okay? So here, starting from the right hand, you have the Shimano Oyogase, okay? Oyogase and Kihada, then you have your Aomono and Otoshikomi. Then next to it, on the left, right, you get the Deep series, okay? Deep Soldier, and I think Deep Chaser is here as well. The Deep Chaser. Can't really see. 等一下。对 Deep Chaser, yeah. Yeah, so this is a Deep Chaser and Deep Soldier. Alright guys, let me just give you a short introduction on these rods, right? So this year, we will be having, what's new is the Shimano Oyogase. The length is 1.7 meters. The action is HH, okay? So we had the H action launched last year. So this year, we have the HH action, right? For more heavy use, okay? The HH action, it can go up to size 500 sinkers. That's close to 2 kilograms, okay? It is perfect to pair with the Beastmaster MD, be it the 6,000 or the 12,000 size. So the Shimano, it boasts a lot of technology, right? But the real thing that I love about the Shimano, right, is the UI and the UX, okay? So have a look at this. If you change this out, right, the rubber gimbal, if you change it out and put this in, okay, this thing here is is designed in a way so that it provides a lot of comfort. I can't take it out now, but I think I can show you later. Okay. Now let's just talk about how the Shimano is. Okay, the Shimano Oyogase is what you use if you want to have some action. You want to have some play in your electric reel fishing. Okay. Let's say you just want to go for a drink with your friends on the boat and just have a very, very chill time. You don't want to be pulling up any fish because you have a sore back or anything like that, right? Then I would suggest you to go for the Deep series, okay? Either Deep Chaser or the Deep Soldier, okay? These are also very, very suitable for sinkers of up to close to 2 kilograms, okay? So, but the difference is between these two, right? The Deep Chaser and Deep Soldier, and the Oyogase and the Kihada, right? What is the difference, right? The main difference is that you have play in these rods, with these rods. See here. Between the reel seat and the end of the rod, right, you have this length. But when you walk towards the Deep Soldier, the length, the distance here is significantly shorter. All right, and the Deep Soldier is also heavier. Okay? It is very, very much heavier. Because why? This one is a hollow glass and this one is full solid glass. Is it bad that it's heavy? Not really, because it depends on your application. See this. When I want to do jigging, right, I can't really, this is where I put my reel. Can't really jig. There's no play in this. This is just to place here. Okay? It's just place here so that you can just adjust your electric reel, okay, to pull fish up. But let's have a look at the Shimano. When we talk about Shimano, if you want, like, so this butt is not the correct butt, but it will be something like this. Okay, you can put it on your waist. Okay, you put it on your waist and pull. Okay, of course not with this gimbal, but then like you should use this. Okay, so then you still have a little bit play in it, right? Or if your fish is not that heavy, you can still grip it like this. Okay, grip it like this, and this will be your reel. You put it up like this. Okay, yeah. So that is a difference between these two segments, I would say. Okay, so to think of it simply, electric reel fishing experience, you have two segments. One is with play, one is without. The without play is the Deep Chaser and Deep Soldier. The with play is the Kihada and Oyogase. Alright? So, what are the... When it comes to play, right, then you expect some sort of, some form of assistance from your tackle, right? So there's a lot of things that Shimano has done to the rod to help you enjoy your play more, okay? One thing is the muscle core technology. The muscle core technology just means that the blanks, right, is all the way through, okay? So this part, it does not break at all. Okay? You can go very, very heavy. It's no problem at all. Okay? Even when some fish, they can bend to this to this segment here, no problem. Okay, it will bounce back right up. Okay, next, see this. When you do a lot of play, and like you're fighting big fish, right? Especially when you're landing the fish, putting it up from the water onto the boat. Sometimes when they go crazy, it will loosen your reel, right, on the rod. And your reel might topple into the water. That's the worst case, right? So, you see this double nut here? This rod comes with a feature, a double nut feature. So you can lock down your reel securely. Then, another nut to lock it down even more securely. So our tester, Takashi-san, he has caught like a few amberjacks on this rod continuously and without having to retighten the nut. Okay? So this is a very, very nice feature to have. So it keeps you reassured, right? And it keeps you secure. It keeps your reel secure. It keeps you reassured that it won't fall off. Okay, next you have the tough butt ferrule. What is a tough butt ferrule? It just means that this whole thing here has a metal core inside, so that when it bends, right, it does not. This part does not flex at all, right? Because there's a metal core inside here. Okay. And lastly, for your comfort, you also have a good grip. All right. So if you want play, if you want to experience some play in your electric reel fishing, definitely go for the Oyogase and Kiada. But if you just want to catch big fish without any play at all, you just want to land them, you just want to pull them up, then go for the deep soldier or deep chaser. All right? Okay. Let's see if I can show you the butt. Ogawa-san. Ogawa-san. すいません。これを見せてもう大丈夫ですか？はい、大丈夫です。はい。ありがとうございます。So you can see here, right? This part, it has a few features. Okay. One is that it has rubber, and with grooves in it as well. So it keeps it steady on your waist. Okay. 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 So this part, it keeps it steady on your waist. Okay. Because it's rubber, it's made of rubber. This groove is used for your, it's done for your comfort, okay? So, how? Have a look. I can put it anywhere I like. Here, here, or here, okay? I find a place that is comfortable, then I put it like this. If without this groove, it would have been like this. Pretty hurtful, right? It will hurt a lot after a few pumps, okay? So that's why Shimano has designed it so that there's a groove here, so that you can lift the rod, no problem. You lift. You see how it lifts? I want to lift it up. Gosh, guys, this thing can really bend. Okay? You guys see that? That's the power of Shimano Oyogase. Sensitivity and power as one. Ring power. ありがとうございます。Yeah, so guys, that's the boat rod section for you, okay? So let's see what else we have here. For the Southeast Asia market, what else do you guys think you'll be interested in? Maybe you can leave it in the comment section below, eh? So we have our scissors, our pliers, some of our pliers here. Oh, you can even test it by cutting it. Can I cut it? No. Not too sure how to use this now. Ah. Simple. Very, very easy. Oh, nice. You have it in a few colors. Oh guys, this is a really, I think anglers in our region would really appreciate this, okay? Because it's not that, it's quite affordable, this tackle box here, okay? And it was designed, right, more for shore anglers, not going on boats. But I think there is no problem to bringing this onto the boat. So what it does, right, is that you can actually move it like this. And move it, you can have it like this as well, okay? So that you can block wind and you can do all your relining or like respooling here, okay? All your knot, you want to make more knots, you want to tie more knots up, you can do it here as well. But at times when you want this to just topple over so you get more access, right, you can just put it out, push it in like this, and you'll fall, okay? So it's a very, very cool feature that I think is very quite nice. But when you come up, you do not need to put it out again. Okay? It goes back to its original position, no problem. So once again, I just show. So here, see? It's like this. You push it, and it falls down. Okay? So this bag, when you buy it, it comes with this. Okay? It already comes with, not the whole thing, guys, just this black container here, okay? And this divider. Alright? So this is how the inside looks like. With the lure casing, whoa, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, you can put 6 of these lure cases. Let's make it. Let's put it back neatly, eh? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, and it comes with a rod holder. Wow, guys, see that glare? See that, or actually, don't see that glare? どうします？
RA の RA 没有 RA 没有
Guys, these caps look cool. Look at the detail. Fishing equipment. You get a reel, you get a rod, and even a lure with the line. Talk about detail, eh? You think I'll look good in it? Yeah. Better get one this year. All right, now let's have a look at the others. Ah, they even have this here for you to test the gloves. Do this here, and then you can try holding onto the rod like this to see if the grip is good. And it is good. You don't get any hardness here too. Feels great. Turn my wrist like this. Oh, nice. Well, not much of a popper. I love my squids so much. Okay, what else do we have? Ah, the EVA shoes. I see the EVA shoes there. Alright guys, we've come to the end of our booth tour. I wanted to do the outro there actually, but there's too many people over there. So, let's just have a recap, alright? So, this year, InfinityConnect system. And you have the rod, the reel, the gear. What are they? Ocea Plugger Limited, 2025. Light, 3X guides for you. Okay? The Stella SW, Infinity Loop. The Ocea 17 Plus, immense strength. And the line looks new after 200 casts. Okay? So this is the InfinityConnect system. It helps you with three things: casting feel, casting distances, and line strength. Okay? So, next we had a look at the Stella SW, the Twinpower XD, the Ultegra FD. We saw a little bit of the latest blockbuster Aldebaran DC. Then we also had a look at the size 100 Antares 2025 as well. And also the Ocea Conquest CT. We actually launched the size 300 last year, second half, but this year we launched the size 200. Right? Very, very suitable for smaller hands. What else do we have? So that's it for the reel. Oh, electric reels, we have the Place 3000 and 4000 for anyone who wants to get their hands into electric reel fishing. Then we had a look at the Grappler. We had a look at UNFIX Capture, right, for those black bass hunters. For those travel rod lovers, the UNFIX, black bass hunters, Capture. Next, we also had a look at at the Sephia Limited as well. Sephia Limited for shore egging and metal Sutte. Lastly, we went to the boat rod section. Yeah, we also went to the boat rod section where we talked a little bit about the Deep Chaser, Deep Soldier, without play. That's a very, very straightforward kind of fishing, electric reel fishing. Then we also had the Oyogase, the Kihada, for those of you who want to fight with big fish with your electric reels. Lastly, we also went to have a look at Hardbull 8+ lines, Ocea 17+ lines. We also had a closer look at our lures, okay? Sephia, the Sephia Sepy, okay? Sephia Antares, metal Sutte, right? And also the screw drive, okay? That's something I'm looking very much forward to this year. So that's all the things that you need to know about Shimano coming to Southeast Asia, and we will be bringing these items to you very, very soon. So please look forward to them. And if I missed anything today, please comment in the comment section below so that we can show you the things next year in 2026. All right? So that's it from me, guys. Thank you for watching. Tight lines.